Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Captain Kirk and Rick podcast with your host, Captain Kirk, and co-host, Rick. So sit down, get ready, and enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, it's the Captain Kirk podcast you've all been waiting for, but we're not going to tell you who we're talking about just yet.
Nope.
I'm Captain Kirk, and this is...
Rickety Rick.
And we're here to rock your world.
So welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York.
Now, we're going to talk about a little girl named after James Taylor. Does anybody know who that is?
Could it be Taylor Swift?
It could be. So, yeah, Taylor was born in Reading, Pennsylvania. She grew up in Wyoming, Pennsylvania. I can't say that. Wyoming. I don't know. Wyoming is near us, so this Wyoming, Pennsylvania, I can't say it. Don't know what it is.
It's weird.
I think it was a little town. She grew up on a Christmas tree farm, actually.
You don't say.
I assume she was out cutting trees like Paul Bunyan before she
Probably.
was 6 years old. I don't know. Anyway, early on, you're funny, Ricky. Speaking of funny, before we move on, I just want to say we so miss Curb Stomp. We need her back. We want her back. We did a podcast about Taylor Swift with Curb Stomp. It rocked. It was awesome. And our production manager screwed it up, and there was nothing there. And Curb Stomp got pissed, and she might never be back.
Good
But
possibility.
But I think she might love us, and she might come back. But she
Probably
said she
not.
will not come back for Taylor Swift.
No Taylor Swift.
So we're just going to do Taylor Swift without Curb Stomp. And all of you that loved Curb Stomp, send us emails. Send them directly to Curb Stomp at our email address, telling her how awesome she is and beg her to come back.
Yes.
All right. Back to Taylor Swift. Early on in her life, her mom noticed she had a real talent, and because she would sing to all the Disney movies. But if she forgot the lyrics, she made up really good ones. She had really good tone. She sounded great. Her parents exposed her to Def Leppard, JT, who is actually James Taylor, Simon and Garfunkel. She also grew to love Shania Twain, Faith Hill, Dixie Chicks, and Linda Ronstadt. By the way, in the background, that was Boston. He's always at our podcast. We don't need to tell you that. Anyway, so she also grew up loving, did I say that? Shania Twain?
You did mention that. You are going
She
senile.
doubly liked Shania Twain, Faith Hill, Dixie Chicks, and Linda Ronstadt. Notice how Linda Ronstadt keeps being in our podcast.
Everyone.
She was an excellent woman. She was like a crossover. She was on country. She was on rock and roll. Anyway, so Taylor, her parents set her up with some Broadway vocal and acting lessons. And she spent her summers at Stone Harbor, New Jersey. Speaking of Shania Twain, Taylor said listening to Shania Twain made her want to run around the block 4 times and then stop and daydream about everything. Can you just picture a little girl doing that? You know, my grandkids love Taylor Swift, and I can just picture them listening to Taylor Swift, and then I know they get all hyper. They do karaoke of Taylor Swift songs. I was woke up the other day at 7:30 in the morning to them singing Taylor Swift.
Getting all hopped up on Taylor Swift early in the morning.
Yeah, I loved it. Anyway.
Question for you, though.
Yeah?
Does Taylor Swift... is anyone in her family musical?
I never heard anything about that. Her dad was a Merrill Lynch accountant.
Probably not.
Well,
very
not
musical.
Merrill Lynch.
Yeah,
They are investment men.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Taylor was always, her parents just took this real interest in, and Taylor had this dream of being a performer, and her parents, took it seriously, and she kept trying to get to win a talent show that was going to let her be an opening act for a band. She kept not winning. Finally, she won, and it made her be opening act for the Charlie Daniels Band. Has anybody ever heard of them?
Yes.
Not me.
Are you lying?
Nope.
Did you ever hear the song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia"?
Oh, yes.
Ricky, not gonna say it.
Don't say it.
Anyway, it's good you're the nub. It's good you're here. So, she got to, at age 11, she got to perform before the Charlie Daniels Band. She also, at that time, saw a documentary about Faith Hill and Nashville, and she decided that she needed to go to Nashville and get a recording contract. So she went there. She sang Dolly Parton and Dixie Chicks, and they said she was too karaoke. She was bummed, but she went home and just kept thinking, I must be different. I've got to be different.
Wow.
So
How old is she at this point?
she was 11.
11, okay.
I had said that, but thank you for
did
clarifying.
mention that.
Okay. Anyway, at age 12, she was there was a computer repairman at her house, and he happened to see she was maybe trying to play guitar but didn't know how. He taught her 3 chords, and that was how she got inspired to write her first song, Lucky You. Now, Lucky You was not a hit. That was her first song. Okay. At about the same time, there was a guy that was a friend of the family and kind of up in the, let's say, just up in the world. And he got her a modeling contract for Abercrombie and Fitch. And so that was kind of her start into the world that she's gone into. She always maintained a 4.0 grade average at school. And by age 14, her father quit his job, moved to Nashville, except he didn't quit his job. He quit his job there. He stayed with Merrill Lynch.
Merrill Lynch.
He went to lunch with Merrill Lynch, went to Nashville, and that's our other production man. If he has stuff to add, that's Kent Arnold. He is also here, but we're only using first names, so his name's Kent.
I'm adding Snickers.
Yeah, he'll be like on headline news. You always hear somebody laughing in the background. Another shout out to the great Robin Meade. Anyway, so they went to Nashville to be with the bigwigs. They immediately got her signed with Sony ATV Records. She was the youngest person to ever sign with them, and she was not with them very long, and she got this feeling that they would always make her sing other people's songs. By now, she's nearing 15 years old. She wants to do her own music. She's got the feeling she's not going to get to do it till she's 18. So she leaves them and ran into a little guy named Scott Borchetta. He had a little company he was just starting called Big Machine Records. Has anybody ever heard of him? Has anybody ever heard of American Idol? Have they ever seen the guy that's on there and says he has a record company? Well, he has a big record company now, but Taylor Swift and her dad, who bought 3% in his company to get it started, that she was about the first one. Everybody said he was crazy to sign her. She was young, she didn't have anything. I wonder if he feels like they were wrong or right at this point 10 years later. And she wouldn't use his producer. She wanted her family friend, Nathan Chapman, and forced them to accept him. Nathan had never produced anything. I think he was the guy that had got her the gig with Abercrombie Fitch. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he's good. He helped her do her first album. It was titled Taylor Swift. And her first tours, she just did ahead of... she fronted for Rascal Flatts when some other dude gave up on him. They had 9 gigs left. That was her first gig she did. George Strait, Kenny Chesney, Brad Paisley, Tim McGraw. By the way, her first hit single was titled Tim McGraw. Wonder if it was the same guy she was talking about. I doubt it.
Probably not.
Yeah. Probably some old boyfriend
Most likely.
back in 6th grade.
Yeah.
But anyways, but what's funny is although she did a few songs off of her Taylor Swift album, she also did covers of Beyonce, Rihanna, John Waite, who Ricky doesn't know who that is, Leonard Skinner, and Eminem. That sounds more like Ricky.
Yeah.
Eminem.
More my
But
style.
because he likes to eat M&Ms. But anyways, that's what people don't understand. Taylor Swift was always rock and roll. It was always about rock and roll. All of her hits were rock and roll. And the country people will talk about that a little bit later, but anyway, so by 2006, when she was 17 years old, she was the youngest to ever write and perform a #1 song on the hit country charts, and that was her 3rd single, Our Song. By 2008, 19-year-old Swift did her 2nd CD, Fearless. It was really made strong by some crossovers, Love Story and You Belong With Me. Love Story, I like to call it Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And I'm not a country fan, but I loved Romeo and Juliet, probably because it was on the rock stations.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh.
Anyway, and I love the video, You Belong With Me. Now, we're talking back in 2008, but I just watched it a couple months ago. And it's only had like 571 million views, just a few slightly more than our latest podcast of Prince. Anyways, it starts out with this geeky girl. She lives across from a cool guy. He's the quarterback of the high school, and she's watching him and admiring him through her window and trying not to be seen. Got on the geeky glasses. She's, you know how little girls are. Really, they're probably cute, but they are just growing into it. And this girl is, she's all geeky, and she's in the band. She's in the marching band.
Oh, no.
And I have to laugh when I think of that. It shows her being geeky, marching in the marching band. I had a daughter that we forced to be in the marching band. She's still pissed. We thought she played the trumpet in it, but it turned out she was just lip syncing the trumpet while she was in it. So anyway, so this girl in this video keeps seeing him. He's in love with the hot cheerleader. He's after her. The cheerleader's after him. The dude goes to a dance at the end of the video, and there is Taylor Swift in a beautiful dress without the glasses on, looking totally amazing. And the dude is like, what? And like all dumb dudes, he probably wished he had Taylor, just like poor old Calvin Harris. But we'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
So anyway, also back in 2008, she was nominated for Best Artist, but unfortunately lost it to Amy Winehouse. It's pretty interesting how that goes. Although Amy Winehouse was great, if you think about her career, and even if she was still alive, it's nothing like Taylor's.
Right.
But she was great and had a great voice, and it's too bad that Amy has passed on. And in a way, it's kind of great she won that award, because she's gone now. And Taylor's always been great about putting credit where credit is due, and even to this day, she'd probably say Amy deserved it. So her first real tour was the Fearless Tour, which was her second album that we talked about. It had 105 dates. She played to 1.1 million fans. No more was she the front for George Strait or some of those other guys. Now, most people think Swift writes all of her own songs, and that's really not quite true. Her first album, she only wrote 3 by herself, but she co-wrote the rest. And on Fearless, she single-handedly wrote 7 and co-wrote the other 6. But notice she doesn't sing a song on her albums unless she wrote it or co-wrote it. And people that co-write songs with her say it's just like water flowing. She really is the engine. They're helping. So not to take any credit away from Taylor, she is amazing, and everything she does is planned. She perfectly plans who she's going to get. I want this song this way, so she picks the person to help her. Now in 2009, I'm just saying that. It's my opinion because of how flawless everything goes for her. Everything's planned. The song's going to sound this way, so I'm picking so-and-so. All right. So don't quote. You can quote me on it.
I'll quote you on that.
All right. All right. I'll ask Taylor about that and verify later.
Okay.
Now, in 2009, Fearless was the best-selling LP. I like the way they call them LPs still. Most people don't even know what an LP is. That is a record. Most people don't know what a record is, these young kids. But they still call these, half of her music's just downloaded. People don't ever even have a real copy, a hard copy of it. But anyway, that's called an LP, the old records. By the time she was 20, she had won 4 Grammys. She was the youngest ever to win Album of the Year. She was also the first country artist to win MTV's Video Music Award, in which the famous Kanye, mostly he's famous because he interrupted Taylor Swift saying that Beyonce or Rihanna, I forget who, wasn't it Beyonce? Anybody remember?
Beyonce.
Yeah, he said Beyonce was way better. She deserves this instead of Taylor. And Taylor's reaction and her calmness is made her even more popular. She just stood and looked a little baffled, but didn't freak. And she later even said he had apologized to her and she'd accepted the apology and she didn't ever want to talk about it again. It was nothing. And all of this made her more popular. Kanye, of course, he wants to say he made her popular, and he does say that.
Kanye.
But yeah, he's amazing in his own right, but we'll never do a podcast on him. I don't know what that means. By 2010, when she was 21, she did the album Speak Now. It had Mean on it, and that won 2 Grammys. She wrote all the songs on Speak Now. So that's probably why people think she writes all of her songs explicitly. And by the way, she plays a lot of guitar on her albums. At the awards show at this Grammys, she performed You Belong With Me and Rhiannon. Does anyone know who might have sang Rhiannon with her? Let's have our production man, Kent, guess.
Stevie Nicks?
Yeah. Yep, Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac. And Stevie Nicks and her did those 2 songs, Belong With Me and Rhiannon. And later, everybody said that Taylor Swift sounded bad and she can't sing. And Stevie defended her because sometimes people have bad nights. I in particular remember a night when there was a duet she was doing with a famous country guy. I believe it was Tim McGraw on the Grammys, and Taylor's mic wasn't even hardly picking her up. and it was horrible. And she just kept singing. I imagine she knew, and who knows what happened, but I think Taylor has gone on to prove, yes, she can sing, and she is good. But what Stevie Nicks said was, no, this girl can sing, and she's amazing, and she is going to help music come back. She is going to save the music industry. And I believe Taylor single-handedly has done that. When Spotify was playing everybody's music but not paying him hardly anything, Taylor quit, took all of her stuff off Spotify, and now everybody's getting paid more. She is a marketing genius. Anyway, so we have to finish her timeline quickly because I want to talk about her music in particular. So by the time she's 23 years old, 2012, Red came out. And just like Mean, it sold 1 million copies in its couples. It sold a bunch for Ted Koppel.
What country is that? Oh, I thought that was another country.
Anyway, like Mean, it sold 1 million copies in the first week. And that was the first time anybody had sold 1 million copies of their album twice. Since then, she's done it 3 times with another album. So, Red had 95 tour dates, 1.7 million tickets sold, and 150 million in total sales. It had 2 worldwide smashes. We Are Never Getting Back Together, which I say wrote about many exes. They all want it to be about them. And I Knew You Were Trouble, which just has an awesome video with it. It's kind of like there's the devil there at the first, or it's this bad boy, and he looks cool at first. And I don't know, I think you should just watch it. Pretty amazing video. I'm amazed with how many people have heard her songs and haven't watched these videos, because she puts out some of the best videos there are. Now we're to 2014, her 5th album, 1989. Ricky, why was it titled 1989?
She was born in 1989.
Are you sure? Do you want to change that, or do you want to stick with that
I'll
guess?
stick with it.
You're right. You win the prize. Okay. Now, then it sold another 1 million albums in the first week, and now she's the first artist to ever sell 3 albums, 1 million in the first week. She's also won Best Album again, only woman to do that twice. It had at least 3 singles that reached number 1, Shake It Off, Bad Blood, and Blank Space. Right now, the 7th single off of it, Modern Romance, is in the top 10. And that is a good one, but it only came on her deluxe CD, which I could not buy when I wanted to buy her CD, so bummed me out. But anyway,
man.
she's smart. She just came up with another song, so she added it to her CD. Okay, it's time to talk trash, though. Country lost her. They really weren't cool enough for her. Her best songs were always pop crossovers, and they didn't treat her like she was one of the all-time greats. She had great fans, and she realized that pop fans stick with their person. Like Lady Gaga, she's got her little monsters, you know? And so she switched over, but really, that's how country looked at it. I remember old Blake Shelton on an awards show going, "Oh, we're so sorry that Taylor Swift has left us," and he was kind of mocking her, "but we'll take you back if you ever want to come back." Like, after they've said that and mocked her,
She
and
was on The Voice.
Huh?
She's been a coach on The Voice since.
Taylor has?
They must have made amends. Yeah, last season she was one of the guest hosts.
Yeah.
Coaches.
But I don't think she's ever going to go back to being someone that they say is country.
That's probably, The Voice is different than
Yeah.
Blake Shelton's on it.
Oh yeah, they've got Christina Aguilera, who was always pop, and that other dude with the weird hat that has the song that's annoying about being happy. Farrell, I don't know, he has a Mountie hat. Anyway, back to Taylor. On her 1989 album, she only wrote one song, and it was called This Love. And it's very good, but she co-wrote all the rest. And like I said, when she co-writes, she picks what she wants it to sound like. She handpicked everybody. These hits that she's had, 7 total off of one album, that are all top 10 hits, that's not by chance. She's designed it that way. She's planned it. You know, she also wrote soundtracks to the Hunger Games, Clearback, Hannah Montana, big popular songs. One of the most popular ones out of the Hunger Games, she co-wrote with someone. But anyway, when will country realize that they really are mostly rock and roll? There was the old country music, which sounded totally different, and now we have new country, which is really kind of like 70s rock and roll. They don't want to admit it because they don't like rock and roll or anybody that listens to it. But they are really rock and roll. But too bad, because they can't figure that out, they lost Taylor. All right, because she was always a mix of heavy rock roots and country ones like the Dixie Chicks and Shania Twain. Here's some weird statistics. Taylor is the... What? Do it?
Do them in that weird voice that you just did a minute ago.
What?
I liked it in here.
What weird voice?
I don't know. It's one you did. I'll tell you when
Was
you
it my hick voice? Now, everybody, here's some statistics.
Any of your voices are good in here.
Here's some statistics. Taylor is the best-selling artist of all time. She sold 40 million albums, 130 million single downloads. And a month and a half or so ago, maybe 2 months, it's been so long ago since we started this podcast, and then Rick messed it all up. But anyway, Nielsen...
In case you didn't already know.
Yeah, in case you can't remember, I'm still pissed, and Curb Stomp's really pissed, and if she hears this, she'll be really pissed. But it's not my fault. It's his. Anyway, has anybody ever heard of Nielsen? They're the ones that do the TV ratings. They did a new research out where they researched music videos and their popularity, and what they found out is music videos are actually probably as popular or more popular than TV. And to give you one thing they found out, the week that Bad Blood came out, which is one of Taylor's best songs off of '89, that week Taylor's catalog of videos had 18 million views in 7 days, and that's just less than all the views that NCIS Los Angeles had.
Wow.
And that is the most popular show, I think, on TV. I could be wrong. I was wrong once. Anyway, so 1989 was also, it reflected Swift's unwavering devotion to Britney Spears, Alanis Morissette, Pink, Kelly Clarkson, Avril Lavigne, and the great crossover queen Linda Ronstadt. It was also influenced by Annie Lennox, Phil Collins, and Madonna. Some of those, that's such a diverse amount of people. Some people will be like, yeah, I know that one, I don't know that one. They're all rock stars, and they're all great. In fact, it was so interesting because a lot of those people I want to do podcasts on, and I had already planned on doing podcasts. She's been compared to Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, but he was then, and this is now, and she is the queen of now. Right now, Taylor's on a tour break. She's got time for, she had time for a big fling with Calvin Harris. But she couldn't be tamed, and he's already sparked an internet sensation about how he's can't believe she left him for this 35-year-old Tom Hiddleston. Can't say his name, so I don't think she should get interested in him. He's too old anyways.
He sounds rich.
He could be rich, but when they were dancing together, she was the dancer, he was just a dude. By the way, I don't really like her shorter hairstyle, but when she was dancing with him, it looked pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
It almost reminded me of a wig, though, like that Lady Gaga used to wear. It was full. It was.
You should be dancing to Charleston.
Yeah, it was. Taylor's got so many looks. By the way, that's Boston.
That's funny, wasn't it?
Boston's having a little dream right now, chasing varmints. But just recently, news broke from one of Taylor's best friends, and she said that actually Taylor doesn't want a new boyfriend. Taylor wants time to herself, time with her mother, time with her cats, time to just do things. Taylor's recently said she would like to have no pressure to create right now. She wants to learn CPR. She wants to make cocktails or learn how to make cocktails. And she was recently on the cover of Vogue, and that's when she had that same hairstyle as that dance. I don't know if anybody saw the video of her dancing with Pingleton or Hiddleton or whatever his name was. But she has like a platinum hairstyle that is quite catchy. You know, I like her longer hair, but anyway, Taylor is always hot no matter what she does.
Probably all the teenage girls are out cutting their hair as we speak.
I hope not, because Taylor was hottest with the longer hair. And poor Calvin Harris feels betrayed. What did he expect? She was the queen of breakups. Her old boyfriends all want to try to write songs about her. I saw a list of all the songs that they had wrote that they think is about her. None of them are hits. Not even John Mayer's. She's the one that can write hits. So anyways, I want to get now to her music, to the 1989 music. And we're going to just play a little bit of each song and talk about the video or whatever from that song.
Nice to meet you where you been. I could show you incredible things. Magic, madness, heaven, sin. Saw you there and
Okay, so that's Blank Space, one of her hits off the album. I want to talk about the video. I told you her videos are amazing. In this video, her cat's in it. She's painting a picture of her boyfriend. In the video, it talks about cherry lips, crystal skies. She's got these beautiful red cherry lips. In fact, her album comes with a whole bunch of like Polaroids that she's sent and gave everybody in her album, and it has pictures of her with these cherry lips. The song says, I can make the bad guys good for a weekend. And boys only want love that is torture. You know, such interesting lyrics. Boys only want love that is torture. Ricky, if we talked about your love life, wouldn't you say it's been a little torturous?
Yeah.
And so Taylor is, you know, here she is, one of these most popular women in the world, but she can kind of, I think that's why she's so popular, because she can write and make all these people think they're talking about their little life. And in this song, unfortunately for the guy, she catches him texting her girlfriend. So she slashes the picture she's painted of him. Now she's saying, I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream. Ask all my ex-lovers. They'll say I'm insane. All of a sudden in the video, she's got a hammer, bashes the guy in the head, trashes his vintage car, and I'm not sure if he ended up dead in the video like this smashed up cake that was in it. Anyway, like I said, watch the videos. They're amazing. Next song.
Midnight, you come and pick me up, no headlight.
So that's Style, another big hit. She's got a great video too of it. In that video, there's lots of broken mirrors. She's talking about those red lips again. Has a real classic look. Talks about James Dean. For those young people of you, he was a cult icon who ended up dying in a car crash. And there's actually people that camp out around the car that was in his movie. And I've been to where that car is, and he's got people that'll just hang out all day long at this. There's all kinds of classic cars, but his is there. That's all they're there for. Anyway, she says, you've got that James Dean daydream look in your eye, and talks about how we'll never go out of style, classic dresses. She looks like a vixen as usual, but the videos really tell a story. So check out the Style video. Next, we're going to do Out of the Woods.
Looking at it now, it all seems so simple.
So this Out of the Woods, I saw her perform that once, and at the performance, this, to give you an idea, they do so many at these award shows. They don't get the sound just right for every person, do they, Kent? Like
Yeah,
I was like, what is she saying? What is she saying? But in the song, it's very clear. Are we out of the woods yet?
Yeah, those big auditoriums, it's really tough.
Yeah.
to do.
But anyway, this video is amazing. She's got wolves chasing her. She's barefoot running with this long, flowing, beautiful dress. There's all these tree roots growing up into trees all around her, grabbing at her. Wolves chasing her. It goes into the winter. She's in the mountains, barefoot. Wolves are kind of hanging out. They're covered in ice, looking at her. Now she's at the beach. She's in a shorter blue dress, and just all the while it's about she's chasing somebody, I guess, because at the very end it says she lost him, but she found herself, and somehow that was everything. I kind of think that's what's cool about this Calvin Harris thing. Everybody thought for sure they were getting married, and in reality she just found out, hey, it's not right for me, I'm moving on, and she gains from it. And hopefully he can look back in time and realize he gained from it. On to the next song.
People like you always want back the love they gave away, and people like me wanna believe you when you say you've changed.
This one was not one of her hits yet. The way this album's going, I guess it still could be. It's All You Had to Do Was Stay. Just a little thing about this song. This song came to her kind of like in a dream. She kept in this dream having the word stay come in front of her. Just stay. Just stay. So when she woke up, she did like she always does. She makes notes of different things, and she came up with this song. And if there was a video, I'm sure it would have that stay just coming out every once in a while. But basically it's talking about if this person would have just stayed with her, they would have been able to have her. Now to the song Shake It Off, which is actually the one that got my attention. Made me realize Taylor Swift is here to stay.
Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can't make 'em.
So, there probably are people that say Taylor has got nothing on her brain. But if you think about it, she probably can't get her brain to shut off for any peace and quiet. And this song is so amazing. She's taken just normal people, got them all dressed up, and they're all dancing and having a good time. The song talks about things like players gotta play, play, play. Music's in my mind, it's gonna be all right. And there's shots of people working out, ballet, all these great outfits, cheerleaders, ghetto dancers. I in particular, what really caught me originally, quite some time ago, was she, right in the middle of the song, she holds up a boom box and she says, while you've been getting down about all the liars and cheats in the world, you could have been listening to this sick beat. And she points to that ghetto box and does a little jig. And I was like, wow, that is awesome.
I'm lightning on my feet, and that's what they don't see. That's what they don't see.
Just awesome. You know, so, I mean, she is a person for all ages. I'm just a young guy, admittedly, but she brings out the young in me. All right, on to the next song. We're just going right through the album. This one's not a hit. It's I Wish You Would.
It's 2 a.m. in your car, windows down, you pass my street, the memories start.
That's I Wish You Would. And basically, it almost could be titled I Wish You Would Come Back. She talks about mistakes she's made, hanging up on the guy, you know. It's almost like, can you say sorry for your mistakes and then people just come back and, you know, but they don't. People never forgive these days. And I think that's what this song's about. She's sorry. She just wants to be forgiven, wishes the dude would come back. And all of her other dudes want to say, and it was wrote about me. Now on to Bad Blood, which I don't know if it's her biggest hit, but my grandkids think it's the coolest. And I don't want them to see the video because it's pretty crazy.
'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. You know it used to be mad love. So take a look what you've done. 'Cause baby, now we got...
My grandkids just love to sing that song. You know, ages 4 to 9. You know, and this song, Bad Blood, the video features Kendrick Lamar. And in this, Taylor is kind of dressed like a dominatrix. And it starts out at an office, but there's all these crazy fight scenes. There's just badass girls dressed like badass girls need to be dressed. There's girls named Mother Chucker, Cutthroat. I'm sorry, this is almost getting to be R. We try to stay PG-13. But in the end, it's really cool because a giant city blows up and all of the badass girls are walking away like they just blew up the city. So it's a pretty cool video, but don't really want my grandkids to see it. So they get something different out of this song, and that's what's so amazing about Taylor is she can make her songs sound like something different to different people.
He said, let's get out of this town, drive out of the city, away from the crowds. I thought heaven can't help me now.
She has pretty cool starts to her song,
Yeah, she does.
but they get into it really quick. She realizes people have short attention spans. You know, one of my favorite bands is Deep Purple. They will have really cool 30-second starts where there's no singing and this great music. These days, everybody's all about, I gotta have it now, I gotta have it now. Won't work for them. She knows that. Anyway, in this Wild Dreams song, it's only had like 500 million views, so just a little bit more than maybe our Glenn Fry podcast. This one's really cool. It's like it starts out with her and another guy going to film a movie. She's just the lead actress, he's the lead guy. They're filming a movie in Africa. It kind of reminded me of that old movie Out of Africa. There's shots with Taylor and giraffes. She's standing next to a lion. There's elephants. And the song says, say you'll remember me. And they fall in love on this movie set. She's got dark hair in it, which is really interesting. And it's Taylor, so it looks good. She flies a vintage plane with the co-star. At the end, though, going along with all of her things, at the end, there's the red carpet showing for the movie, and he's with another woman. And so that's how Taylor is. She's used to having men leave her or her leave them. By the way, all the proceeds to this song go to wild animals. So, only a few more songs left. The next one, track 10, is How You Get the Girl. It's not a hit, but it's really catchy.
Stand there like a ghost, shaking from the rain.
So this is How You Get the Girl, and what's really interesting is she's got advice about how you get the girl. First of all, you don't leave them, and if you make a mistake and you do leave them, you come back and you say, I want you for worst and for better, and I will wait for you forever. Has anybody ever said that to a girl? Has anybody ever said, I'm really sorry, but I'm never going to do it again, and I can handle you, you're worse, you're better. It's just amazing. It's a good song. It has some good advice. Next song is This Love. It's the one she wrote with no one else helping her.
Clear blue water, high tide came and brought you in, and I could go on and on.
So this is a real love story. She talks about how she has, her hands have set love free, and then the love came back to me. So of course she's getting that from that great saying. If you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. It's a real beautiful song. It's not one of the hits. The way this album's going, any of these other 6 songs on it, or 7 that have not been hits yet, could be. This next one is called I Know Places.
You stand with your hand on my waistline. It's a scene and we're out.
I like the way on that song she starts out just so well, just doing the I thing, and then they've got it in the background and she's singing the lyrics, and Basically, in this song, she's saying, I know places we can go where we won't be found. What guy doesn't want to go somewhere with Taylor and not be found? It could be a hit. It'll be a hit with the guys, though. And the last song is Clean. And it has a real interesting premise. And it's going to go really good with Calvin Harris.
The drought was the very worst.
So in this, she's talking, it's called Clean, and she says the drought was the very worst. And you have to listen to this song closely and what it's all about. To me, where I'm a recovered addict, I can picture it like, okay, it's clean, so it's talking about when you first start being clean, and the drought, it's like you're drought, you're without it, but you're clean. But I've figured out she is talking about a breakup. And when she's clean, she's finally over it. The drought is the very worst, and then she's finally clean. And so she's going through that right now. I'm sure she misses Calvin Harris. People like to talk about her like she's this person that's just out to,
Break cards.
yeah, and have somebody, go with somebody to write about it later. She doesn't need to do that. She can write about breakups without actually doing it. She's a woman, and she's a girl, and she is a human being, just like David Bowie, just like Prince, and they're all humanity, and they're all wonderful. And with that, I want to end our podcast. And we went through these songs because Curb Stomp loves Taylor Swift. So the songs were a dedication to Curb Stomp.
Ooh.
Bye, peoples.
All right, till next time.
Thank you.